Hey guys, Tisha here, and we are back for another Married to Medicine. How did I feel about this? I feel like this episode was okay. Some of it got drawn out to me, but we're going to discuss it down below. Let me start off by saying I don't know why Toya was so surprised that Phaedra did not invite Apollo to her son's 13th birthday. They don't get along. And he has resentment towards her for not bringing the kids to see him while he was incarcerated. And she doesn't care for him. So I'm not surprised. I also want to know who dressed heavenly. Then I found out later who it was, which it was Phaedra. I thought that it was supposed to be a professional networking event, but Heavenly looked a hot mess. I want to know, when we see the montage of clips, what Sweetie is doing in Heavenly's office, considering how she told us that she wasn't going to see her, even though Greg was seeing her after Heavenly talked junk. So I guess they're in a better place. Anyways, we begin the episode with Eugene and Toya at a flower shop, and he has champagne and is waiting on her arrival. Toya walks in and Eugene is very excited. He says that instead of buying Toya flowers, that he wants them to make bouquets together so that he can figure out what she likes. Now, after almost 15 years of marriage, I would think that he would know what flowers she likes, but it's very sentimental and it is sweet, so I'm going to let it go. Toya actually is excited about it. She doesn't complain. And she says that one of the reasons why she's excited about this is because unlike it being what it was at the previous day where it was something that he would like, he did something that she would like. She said that she gives the date a 10 out of 10, that she went into it taking into account what Simone had told her in the past in regards to Eugene feeling like she's hard to please, even though we know she's still hard to please. She found herself really enjoying it. And he said he wants to get back to them doing things like this, having day dates and things of that nature when they are both free. Toya talks about how good it feels and how she just really enjoyed herself. We then see them in confessional, and I'm getting this all out of order. They talk about the date. He says that even though she really enjoyed this, that she's still difficult. Toya talks about how good it feels to be around the ladies now because they feel like they're in a really good place, and it hasn't been that way for a very, very long time. Production then does what they do, which is be messy and show us that Toya feels like she's been in a good place, and they flash back to 6 weeks and 4 weeks. And basically she's in a better place now that Quad has left. We then go to Dr. Damon and Heavenly. Dr. Damon is having a medical mixer where we see Heavenly showing up with him looking like a Las Vegas showgirl. Simone even points out that based on Heavenly's outfit, it's clear that Phaedra dressed Heavenly. And then we see the clip of Phaedra helping Heavenly pick out her outfit. Also notice that Phaedra's outfit in confessional is very similar in color and design to what Heavenly had on, except Phaedra's isn't as ill-fitting. So we see Heavenly's outfit is rising up, as well as she's having nipple slips because she's having to be adjusted by her friends. And to me, the outfit was a no. His business event is for like a pain management venture that he opened up 4 years ago. This event is being held at a cigar bar. He has both attorneys and different doctors who specialize in different things like chiropractics and things of that nature, as well as these attorneys who come in contact with a lot of accident claims and things of that nature. And his point is so that they can merge together, refer different patients as needed. The hope is to work with these attorneys and end up getting, more clientele if they need additional care. Curtis is surprisingly there. All of the cast show up. Phaedra arrives and she's talking about all the sexy chocolate men that will be there. We then have Heavenly, who is acting like Phaedra is on some dating game show where she's just introducing her to all of these single men in the room. We then have one that was very inappropriate, and they were talking about drums, and he looked behind her and said, he's really good at drums, and are those drums looking at her butt? And it's a bit too much to me. Like, don't sexually harass the woman, especially since you don't even know her. Well, you shouldn't sexually harass anyone, but I'm just saying, you don't know her and you're making it obvious that you're making, you know, advances towards her. Simone announces to the group that they're going to be taking a couples trip to Hilton Head, South Carolina. Tell me down below if you think that Simone was intentional with the decision, because I'm on the fence. Damon then ends up coming up, thanking everybody, and then Heavenly takes the opportunity to have Phaedra come up too. I'm sorry I'm saying this out of order, but I'll get back to it. Various men who are interested come up to the front where Phaedra is basically on display. She's being told to turn around and show the merchandise and all those things. And Heavenly announces in the microphone that she has a bag, but she wants to use yours. It was crazy and inappropriate. It may have been more fun in a different setting, but it just made me feel uncomfortable. Simone is asking Dr. Alicia how her husband was and how things have been since they got back from Napa. And she says that, you know, her husband has a newfound respect for her, that those 4 days of her being gone helped a lot. She doesn't know how long it's going to last, but she hopes it continues. And of course, as I said in previous episode, these ladies were going to have a discussion with their husbands about what was said. And she's told by Toya about the comment about men having no balls and women from the U.S. being more dominant, things of that nature. And she repeats it just like I knew she would, because Dr. Eugene runs back and tells everything that is said around the men. Dr. Alicia says that she does have that her husband does have a problem with how strong she is, that she came from a single parent household, so she's accustomed to doing things on her own. She does respect her king, but she has her own way. And to me, if it's not a problem with her, then everybody else should just mind their own business, because to each his own. My household may not be ran like yours, but that doesn't make what I'm doing in my household wrong. If she's okay with it, then she's okay with it. As I'm seeing all the cigar smoke and I hear Curtis complaining about it, I can't help but think about how badly these ladies' hair is going to smell after coming up out of there. As I said earlier, Simone announces that her and Cecil are going to host a couples trip. It is also 10 years since the OG ladies have been together, so it's going to be like a couples trip / anniversary trip. They talk about all the trips that they have been on over the years, how beneficial it was to some of their marriages, the good times, which is like Cecil and Simone renewing their vows in 2016, I think it was. And then the worst times, like the trip that they had to Barbados in 2018, where everybody was arguing with everybody. They decided that the trip is going to be in Hilton Head, South Carolina. And Jackie says, where? And she cuts her eyes, while Heavenly is standing there looking at Simone like she's crazy. Heavenly says everybody knows in her confessional that that is where Jackie's husband got caught cheating 6 years ago. She says, would Simone not think that Hilton Head would be a trigger for Jackie? And I feel like that's a good question, because after 20 plus years of friendship, I would think that she should know that. Heavenly says, did you ask her if it was okay before you picked that place? And Simone says, oh, ish, sugar honey iced tea. She says it didn't cross her mind about the pictures that were in Hilton Head, that there was no way that she would be messy like that with Jackie of all people. She says it's an honest mistake. Jackie tells her right then and there that she would rather go to Myrtle Beach, which means she's uncomfortable with going to Hilton Head. But Simone acts like she still doesn't get it. Heavenly, on the other hand, is pissed. She says, Simone, you knew this. You chose to do this. If it were my friend, I would probably be upset too. But I feel like that should have been a conversation that Heavenly had with just Simone and Jackie alone or on the phone, not with everyone else present. She said, you need to be more compassionate about other people's feelings, which is true. Phaedra says, you just never return to the scene of the crime. Simone says, we already booked for Hilton Head. Jackie says that she thinks that Simone forgot. She doesn't feel like it was malicious. She's going to talk to Curtis about it when she gets home, and she'll decide where they go from there. I would have loved to see what that initial conversation looked like, because I know the one that we saw was not the initial conversation. So Jackie comes home the next day, and she's a little late coming home from work. She gives Curtis a kiss or whatever, and she's asking him what he's doing, and he's saying he's planning yet another trip to the DR. I want to know below, if you know, somebody comment below, what does Curtis do in the DR? Because originally I thought he was a basketball coach. So what is he doing in the DR? She says, we got a trip on the 8th. He says, you should have let me know ahead of time. She claims she just found out about it, and I don't see how, because I know that production had to give you all some form of a schedule in order for you to take this time off. Maybe you didn't know where the trip was, but you were told to block something out so that you can do something. So why didn't you communicate that to your husband, Jackie? Curtis said he's over Hilton Head while they're... Why there of all places? Like, why Hilton Head? He's just over it. Jackie doesn't want to be in a place that she feels will set him back or her back. Curtis wants them to mind their own business, which is part of the reason why he does not want to go. He says because his business is not their business. And I understand that he's saying that, but for him to have disrespected Jackie in a public forum the way that he did, for it to show up on TMZ and other blogs the way it did, her friends do have the right to be interested in that aspect. Now, do they have to disclose everything? No. But he should understand why they would want to know some things. He says that they're in a good place, but he's not about to allow her friends to have them go there and make that trip about them. And I said, okay, Curtis, you know what? You do have every right to feel that way, because at this point, it's been over 6 years. I don't know if Simone did this intentionally or not, but production did. Production did. Because when whoever decided whatever, why wasn't that considered? We're back at Phaedra's, where they are planning her son Aiden's 13th birthday. This looks like a legit party, because we see kids and family, a food truck, basketball. It looks like a county fair. Everyone is arriving and talking about how nice it looks, and it does look nice. Phaedra obviously spent some money. We see a trumpet player come out and announce the arrival of the birthday boy. Dwight from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, who was there from day one for the party with all the 12 cakes, is now there for this 13th birthday party, and he says, good evening. It's my time to present Queen Mother and Prince Aiden, and he's in a whole getup. No, Queen Mother and President, which is the brother, the younger brother. Then they present Aiden, who comes out, and the look on all his friends' faces with the whites get up and all the extraness of it all, you can tell that these, Caucasian people are not accustomed to the antics of Phaedra Parks. It's hilarious. Like, I was really, really laughing. Aiden comes out, and you see the sparklers go off. Phaedra says she does not skip a beat when it comes to her kids. They've been through a lot, and they deserve these things, that she can afford it. And honestly, if she can afford it, go ahead and give it to them. If I could afford certain things, I would give my child the moon too. I'm not going to knock it. Toya thought that his father would be there, and she doesn't understand why he wouldn't be here. And I said, that's easy. They don't like each other. He sure probably will plan his own thing. They don't have to be together for everything. Would a 13th birthday have been nice? Yes. But we don't know the dynamics of the situation. So just know he's not there. Cecil's brother is there without a wedding band, and Heavenly offers him $80 to get a band. He claims he's too fat to wear it. He is introduced to Phaedra, and he's checking Phaedra out, and Heavenly lets Phaedra know very quickly that he's married. And then Simone says, yes, that's my brother-in-law. And you see him checking Phaedra out to the point where the camera even sees it. We then see Dr. Greg and Dr. Kima, which is Dr. Alicia's husband, bond over the fact that their wives take care of them. We then see Aiden cut his cake. We get all the memories with him as a child, which is sweet. And this child has grown up before our eyes. Then Aiden gives a speech. where he tells his mother that he'll never be able to repay her for all that she does. He says, your love is overwhelming at times. And I was like, oh my goodness. And Phaedra started crying and I started crying right with her. He says that he's learned, though, that that's just her. He loves her and she's his rock. Phaedra is crying. He makes a joke about some things about him getting a B and things of that nature. And then we see dancers come out on stilts and a fire dancer. Jackie arrives, and for some reason, Heavenly wants to have this conversation at the birthday party about this whole trip thing. So Simone says, because they go to the side off to one of the tables, and Simone says, I want to make sure that Jackie, that you're good with coming to South Carolina. Heavenly all loudly says, not if he is. I want Heavenly to be quiet and let them talk. I like Heavenly, but sometimes she does make things worse. I just want her to shut up. Jackie says they're in a good place, her and Curtis. They've gotten over it, but Curtis doesn't want to go. Simone says, I messed up. Jackie says, I've pushed it to the back of my mind where I've forgotten about it. But when you made the statement about going to Hilton Head, I did gasp inside. Heavenly chimes in and says, you should have known. Heavenly, honey, you already made your point. You already made your piece. Let them have this talk. But that's not what happens, of course. So Simone doesn't like that Heavenly is making it seem like she did this on purpose. Heavenly, she talks about how she's known Jackie for 20 years. And Heavenly says, I don't care about that, Simone. I don't care about you knowing Jackie for over 20 years. I'll be honest. I got to be with Heavenly on the years thing because time doesn't matter. There are people who have been in my life for a significantly long period of time that really don't know me. With that said, 20 years doesn't mean that you should be fighting back and forth about this party, especially at this party where there's a whole bunch of children, where they are clearly making a scene. Jackie is in the middle of them, shushing them. Jackie always seems to end up being in the middle of these two people. Jackie says, I'm walking away. She walks off, tells Phaedra that I got to put the two oldest people, in time out. They take the conversation to the front. They're still yelling at each other loud enough for people to hear. Show or not, get off my property if you're going to act like that. For some reason, Heavenly has taken this on when she should have just allowed Jackie to keep speaking. Jackie comes out, says, if Curtis doesn't want to go, I'm not going. Simone says, all I'm asking, Heavenly, is for you to cut me some slack. You're acting like I'm being malicious. Heavenly says that's not what she's saying at all. I disagree. I kind of do feel like Heavenly thought that she was being a little malicious and that she did it on purpose. But at the same time, I also see that Heavenly is very protective of her friendships, which one of those is Jackie. Heavenly says... No, Jackie says it would be okay if it was just, Simone and Heavenly, but certain people are going to make it an issue. One of those people probably being Toya. Simone says, Heavenly, you taught me a lot, but don't do that again. It's been clear for some time that Jackie and Simone are no longer in a place where they once were. Her making that decision, whether she made it or production made it, either way, you didn't consider your friend's feelings, and that's wild to me. It proves just how far they've separated as friends. We see them, different people getting ready for the trip, and once again, Tisha is talking about how she's not sure about how it's going to be with the different age of this group. She says that she looked it up and everybody on the website looks like they're older than her, and it seems like it's going to be boring. I don't understand why Sweetie, Tisha, whatever her name is, seems to forget that her husband is older than a lot of these people on the cast. This is the very people that she's talking about. Get used to hanging out with people that are older because they're your husband's peers. You sound ridiculous. And if you can't hang out with his peers, then get off the show because his peers were here before you were. Simone is assigning bedrooms, and she decides that she's going to give Jackie the master bedroom because she feels some kind of way. And it's not that she feels some kind of way. It's that she really doesn't want to be there. I don't know why Simone is acting like she doesn't get it. Those are her words. Simone's not mine. She tells Cecil that she's still upset because she doesn't understand why Heavenly would imply that she did this on purpose. And Cecil says, this is Heavenly we're talking about. It's par for the course. But why wouldn't Curtis or Simone also think of this? Curtis is kind of messy to me. I used to like Curtis, but I don't really care for him much anymore. And we are going to see that Heavenly was right. And this is going to be a bigger issue because next episode in a preview, we see that Jackie is on the phone crying, saying that they may not be coming because Curtis doesn't want to go. You all, tell me what you think of this episode. Do you think that it was intentional of Simone? Yes or no? And why? If you have not done so already, please like the video, please comment, and please subscribe. And until next time.